Highway warriors, my trucking executives, transportation logistical coordinators. How's everybody doing? It is, I guess it's not hump day, it's the day after hump day. One more day to the weekend. And everything's doing well. Just wanted to check in with you guys, see how everybody's doing. I am currently taking the time to do what we call here at Landstar a 120-day inspection. So I came in, went out for a couple of days, and thought I would come home and get that taken care of, just in case. The truck is sound, I have no issues with it, but just in case, right? I like to be home to deal with any type of situation. So thought I would bring it in, kind of park and visit with family again, right? And get the business side of things done. So as I say, here at Landstar, we have to do a 120-day inspection. And the trailer that I have, which is a brand new trailer, is dated from March 2020, is due for an inspection. So I thought I would kill two birds with one stone. And yeah, here we are. But just kind of give you an update, kind of travel log in as to how my week has been. Trucking isn't always peaches and creams, right? There's always, or not always, there are some ups and then there are some downs. Then there's a period where things just run smooth. And I've had that. Things have gone smooth. But every now and then you got to run through some hurdles. And my hurdles this week has not been nothing of my doing, nothing of my truck's doing. But, in the owner-operator business, whether you're leased on with somebody or you are one who has your own authority, you have to deal with agents and or brokers. And I've had my share of dealing with one particular agency this week, and it has caused a lot of problems. I ain't gonna say nothing major, things that you can get over. But one of the things I like to do as an owner-operator is I like to plan ahead. I like to sit down at my laptop or my phone or tablet and plan my weeks out. I like to plan my loads out. And I like to be at least a week and a half out, and sometimes maybe 2 weeks. And I know that's a gamble. But in my opinion, if things work out, if things work well, you got an idea of what your revenue is going to be, and you know exactly where you're going to be and when you're going to be there. Especially this time of year where we don't have those different types of weather issues. Although I know there's been a major snowstorm that took place up in South Dakota, in most cases the weather is pretty fair, and outside of traffic and construction, I think you can kind of put a calendar and a clock to yourself. So but in this case, things were a little hectic, and this started about a week and a half ago. I planned my week out, and I had a load that I was picking up in just north of Chicago, Waukegan, Illinois. And behind that, there were some loads that were stacked up. And I had a load that was going from Waukegan down to Ohio, reloading in Ohio, bouncing over to Pennsylvania, reloading in Pennsylvania, going down to Virginia, reloading in Virginia, and then taking that load on up to Ohio with 2 stops. Stop in Ohio, Akron, Ohio, and then unloading down in I believe it was Novi, Michigan. And then I was gonna either try to get a load out of there for the weekend or just deadhead on home. And that would have been the end of a 2-week stretch. That didn't work out the way it planned. So I'll kind of give you a quick story. The Waukegan load canceled. So I had a load sitting down in Ohio, and I wanted to get something that was going to get me to Ohio, particularly Monroe, Ohio. So I found a load that picked up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. So, it's a little bit of a deadhead for me, but the rate was well. It unloaded when I needed it to unload, and it connected the dots on the load that I had down in Monroe. And the two loads were actually with the same agency. I'm not going to say the name of the agency. I don't want to bash any agency. We know who those agencies are, or if not, you'll figure them out. But those of us who have been, or those of you that have been with Landstar for a little bit, may have an idea who this agency is. And it was a load that picked up in Sheboygan and went down to Monroe, Ohio, delivered to a Home Depot, and then reloaded at the same location, and then taking that load on up to Pennsylvania near the Scranton area. Good paying load, overnight load, paid very well. And so I was excited about that, getting that done. I like the challenge, and everything was lined up in place. But when I arrived to Sheboygan to check in, I was told that load didn't exist. And then after further investigation, found out that the load actually existed, but they rescheduled it for the next day, picking up instead of the 12th, picking up on the 13th. Well, that didn't go with my plan. So I just basically said, I'm not going to be able to run that load and take me off of it. I got to find me something else. And I did. I found me something else, and I got a load that delivered about 30, 40 miles from where I needed to be. And took that load, had some delays, but was able to fight through those delays and get the load delivered. And in time to be able to pick up my reload and bounce on over to Pennsylvania. So I arrived to the Home Depot in Monroe, Ohio, and sat in the line just to get into the location. And that line was about an hour and a half long, just to check in. And I finally get into place. I dropped my empty trailer, went into the shipping office, and checked in. And the young lady pulled out a folder, and she kept looking, and she went to verify my pickup number. And I gave it to her a couple of times. She said, "Sir, I am so sorry, but that load doesn't exist." It's like the same song, just a different day. And so she said, "Give me a few minutes. Let me check with the dock and check the logs and see what loads were loaded." And they did that. And she came back and she said, "Well, the load did exist, but that load left either yesterday or meaning the day before, or sometime at the end of the prior week." And I was like, wow, there's nothing I can say. I was kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. So I called the agency, and was not able to reach them because it was after hours. It was around 6 in the afternoon, and was not able to reach them. And after having so many hiccups, and you're trying to service your customers, particularly the ones that are in line following this load, I had to concede. I had to pack it in because there was no way I could get a load at a time of night, and at least I didn't think so, with the efforts that I was trying to put in and get to Pennsylvania in order to be in place to get the load that I needed to get down, or the loads that I have scheduled, planned. And with my obligations to my customers, because when I pick up a load, they're my customer. I contacted the agency or the customer and let them know what I'm dealing with and the obstacles I was dealing with, and I was in communication with them throughout those 48 hours, just to kind of let them know what I'm dealing with, what's going on. And there's a possibility that there's going to be a hiccup. And I called them, and they were understanding, but I gave them enough time. It was 24 hours in advance, and the other one was like 48 hours, just to give them an idea to repost it and kind of find a plan B. And so I was able to do that. But I called my wife afterwards, and I told her, I said, "You're not going to believe this." And she said, "What?" I could tell by me saying "what," she kind of had an idea what was going on. And this to me, this is an anomaly. This is something that I don't expect to have to experience on a regular basis, because it happens, but it's not don't expect it to happen all the time. It's just one of those weeks, right? So I told her, hey, I had 2 loads canceled, rescheduled, all that good stuff. And she said, you know what? Come home. I said, come home. She said, come home. I can tell you're not in a great mood, and you're trying to be positive, you're trying to be upbeat, but come on home. Your son would like to see you. I would like to see you. And we got some business we need to take care of here. And why don't you come on home, regroup, and going back out next week. I said, you know what? That's why we work for ourselves. So we have that time freedom and that decision, the ability to say, you know what? I'm not going to work today. I'm not going to work, this week, whatever the case would be. As long as you meet your obligations, right? Truck notes paid, insurance is paid, house is paid, things are going, bills are paid, and it gives me a little cushion. So I did hit it home, 4 hours on the nose. I went on home. I had 6 hours left to drive, and I drove on home. And so I'm actually here near my house, getting my my 120-day inspection, and make sure all that's good, taking care of those things, so I don't have to worry about those things on the road. When you're on the road, you kind of, on a time constraint. You don't want to burn your clock up. You don't want to run your 14. You don't want to, get on the drive line accidentally, or whatever the case to be. You want to be able to take your 10, get behind the wheel, get down the road, shut down, and not have to worry about certain things like this. So that's what I'm doing, maximize my time. But I just want to touch base with everybody and let you know, hey, this is trucking. Things happen, but you work through those things. And I've had loads that canceled on me before, and I was able to work through it on the fly. I was able to call an agent and rebook another load to get me to where I need to be. Maybe the dots connected, but maybe this time the dots didn't totally connect, but at least I was in the neighborhood and I was able to grab that load that I had planned at the other location and continue on down the road. So, but in this case, the balls kept rolling in the wrong direction. And, hey, again, you have that time freedom and that ability to say, you know what, I'm going to pack it in and I'm going home, spend time with my family, take care of some business, and get right back out there next week. So I have my week planned out next week already. I'm ready to go. But I'm going to enjoy this weekend. One of the things I tell you guys, I'm a musician. I play the drums and bass guitar. So I went and hung out at my church. I play at a pretty big church. It's a kind of I guess you call it a mega church. And I was able to, I haven't been there in a while because, been on the road, and was able to come in and get back on stage with my band and play. And maybe one day I'll post a video of that. It was fun. It was great times. I'm going to go Saturday night and play, and then again on Sunday, 3 services. So, just got opportunity to kind of let my hair down, whatever hair I got left. Ain't much. Ain't none, I don't think. And pick up my axe and play a little music, a little bass with my band, and, feed the people what they, give them what they want to hear. So I'm enjoying my weekend. So with that being said, guys and gals, enjoy yourself. Be safe out on that road. And understand, things happen. It's how you deal with those obstacles, work through those obstacles. And I always say this, man, when you're dealing with the shippers and the customers, it ain't their fault most of the time. Keep the rubber side down, is what they like to say. My wife said, she tried to give me a new phrase, and I'm probably going to screw it up. But it's kind of what I've been saying. Make it do what it do so it can do what it does. Be safe out there, guys. We'll talk later.